last year. David Reagan led all the first 20 laps, but finished 6th in the Showdown.
History's been known to repeat itself.
It's halftime. They'll have the chance to make pit stops if they wish. What will they do? Let's begin with Dick Berggren.
Well, Greg Zipadelli, who is crew chief for Joey Logano, told me before the start of this race that he was going to make his decision on the fly. I'm listening to his radio, and he has not yet told his driver what he's going to do. Matt.
Down in the 27 pit, Slugger Labby, much like an NFL coach with different options. He said, you know, the King used to say, circumstances dictate. Well, right now they've got the track position. They've told their driver, stay out. We're not coming. Steve?
David Reagan sounds very confident in the race car, Matt, saying that he's a little bit snug on landing in turn 1, but he said, you know what, guys, I can back up my corner just a little bit to fix that. They, too, will stay out.
We may not know until they get to the commit cone what the plan is. That's when they have to decide at that cone whether they're coming or not. And the first two are not. And everyone else except Keselowski among the top half dozen or so are in.
That's what always happens. The leader is a sitting duck. Whatever he does, do the opposite.
Dale Jr. stayed out. So did Casey Mears.
And you guys, we saw what happened at the end of the race at Dover last week. About the same scenario, 20 or 30 laps on the tires. Mark Martin stays out, running 14th or 15th and runs second, has a chance to win the race. Staying out, I think, is a great call.
I think it is too, and let me tell you why. This is the Darlington tire, the right side tire. Think about Regan Smith. 30 laps on his tires at Darlington, was able to hold off guys with 2 tires.
But I want to go one step further, Mike. I've also been a driver. And if I'm running in 3rd place and the whole world behind me pitted, I would come on the radio and say, are you sure this was the right thing to do?
All right. A lot of drivers took only 2 tires. We'll find out why when we come back. Under caution, getting ready to go green at Charlotte. A sprint brings you an inside look at what's happening now inside the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series. David Reagan's lap 2 was the fastest lap of the night, just under 29 seconds. For more in-car audio, live race radio, check out NASCAR Sprint Cup mobile at sprint.com/speed. Here's some radio from David Reagan's crew chief.
They're not going to catch it because the tire's here. We just got to focus on this restart. That's probably going to be our race right here.
DW, you think that was a subtle reminder of the restart that he didn't execute properly down in Daytona, which cost him a chance to win that race?
Maybe so, but I think what Drew's really saying is, look, don't complain about not having tires. That's not what's going to beat you. Focus, concentrate, run the laps, hit your marks. We got this thing.
All right, the first 6 drivers stayed out. The Napa car of Truex got 2 tires. So did Ambrose, Logano, and Burton. Bobby Labonte got 2 and way to the inside for the lead. Bad Brad. How about that?
Well, he timed it perfectly, and he's been running up there and pushing people on every restart. He just pushed himself to the lead that time. We'll find out if clean air means anything.
Wow, what a restart that was.
And David Reagan wakes up in second, 3 wide. The Dinger, Ambrose, and Casey Mears.
4 new tires and nowhere to go.
Mike, all these guys right now back in that gaggle right there, they're thinking, we got to go, we got to go. And that's when something usually goes wrong.
Only green flag laps count in this segment. Second place, Menard, inside Reagan.
I think this is what Drew Blickensherfer was trying to tell David Reagan. Focus. Don't worry about the tires. That's not what's going to beat you. That restart might be what beat you, and he reminded him of that.
But you know, Darrell, every now and then these athletes will step up and do something special. And what Brad Keselowski, don't blame it all on Reagan. What Brad Keselowski did on that start was special.
While they battle for second, one car is closing on that pair, and it's Dale Earnhardt Jr.
Yeah, and he's bringing Truex and Logano with him. Look, those first 6, 7, 8 cars are all gaining on our leaders, so those tires are paying off a little bit.
And Allmendinger with his 4. Allmendinger of his 4 got up there. He's getting up there pretty quickly as well.
What Earnhardt wants more than anything is to race his way into the All-Star race and not have to fall back on the possibility of being the fan vote favorite.
Yeah, there's such an assumption that he has that wrapped up, but I know Junior would like to do it the hard way.
He's getting ready to have company on the inside. Martin Truex drives on the inside of Dale Jr. But a lot of these guys, Truex on back, Logano, the people that pitted, they'd like to see maybe one caution in the middle of this baby. Bunch them back up, put us on better tires than those guys on their bumper, and let us see if we can't do something with them.
Oh, that would definitely change things if you got a caution, especially if you're back there with Allmendinger, got 4, and guys that got 2.
Joey Logano on the move. You're riding with him as he works underneath Earnhardt, and with him comes Jeff Burton and Allmendinger on the inside.
Junior was the last good car that didn't take tires, Darrell, and these guys with tires have caught him. They're driving by him. When they catch the other guys, can they drive by them?
15 laps to go, Matt.
And Mike Jr. just came on and told Steve Letarte the car absolutely way too tight on his entry down into turn 3, and it's costing him.
Oh, yeah, you can see it right there, Matt. He just backed off. Jeff Burton just dove under him and passed him getting into 3.
Burton's pass, though, leaves him 1.8 seconds out of second place. And first and second are the only places that matter.
And I believe those guys running first and second right now, Keselowski and Menard, I believe they're pretty happy. Menard's sitting there saying, okay, you and I, let's just leave it like it is.
This is Keselowski's first showdown. He has competed in 2 all-star races with finishes of 7 and 17.
I thought I was having a flashback there for a minute when that 2 car took the lead, because you remember how strong he was.
Car in the wall, turn 4. Caution is out for the number 30 of David Stremme.
It's another car that stayed out.
Hard contact.
We haven't seen any sign of tire issues, and even though Stremme was a car that stayed out, looks like that right front tire is blown, but we haven't seen any problems with the tires here.
No, you're right, Michael. He was the last car not to pit at the halftime break.
But you think about the dominance of that 2 car over here last year with Kurt Busch at the wheel, and here this thing is running, looking pretty stout right here tonight.
What we do now, Darrell? Come get some tires or stay out?
No, man, you made your bed. Got to lay in it.
I bet you Dale Jr. might think about coming to get some tires.
Well, now there might be somebody like him, but the guys up front, I think they got what they got.
There is Stremme, who was running 17th, up and into the wall just ahead of Todd Bodine.
He's up against that wall, and I think he's just holding it there, Mike, because he knows there's cars coming behind him. He doesn't want to come down in front of anybody.
Well, let's check with the leaders pit. Steve?
Brad Keselowski just said that start was really cool. That was fun. But he also said my car is really tight in the center as soon as that caution flew.
Now, did you not mention a second ago that a caution would be very helpful to some of these guys?
You know who it's mostly helpful to? Us. This is going to be crazy, this finish. Watch this. You got Brad Keselowski diving to the inside, timing it perfectly, and diving to the inside of Reagan and making that move. Reagan tried to crowd him, but Brad wasn't having any of it.
He's been pretty up on the wheel on both of the restarts. He was pushing somebody every time they took off.
That was as good a restart as you'll see.
Yeah.
Oh, you'll see some more like that later tonight.
I didn't say it was the best you'd see. All right. Who's coming for tires?
Well, I think there's a couple of guys that might consider it.
I think they'll break it about Ambrose. Start coming in.
Marcus would be the 8th place car.
Marcus staked it and stayed out.
Yeah.
Earnhardt's in. Mears. Quapple.
Come on down here. Come on down.
You know what Dale Jr. is saying? Lonely, I'm Mr. Lonely.
Matt.
Mike, Steve Letarte told me they did not want to rely on the fan vote as their entry in case there was an issue. They wanted to get one of those 2 spots. They know they can't win the race with the way the car is now absolutely plowing, so they know they needed to bring the car down and make some adjustments. They pulled a spring rubber as well as 2 other adjustments on this 88 machine.
Thanks, Matt. These caution laps in the second half of the Sprint Showdown do not count. We'll be right back.